Okay, we are back live with a stream of another set of Magic the Gathering. Once again, this is all stuff that I pulled from Card Halla. Actually went back and looked at, because I'd pulled out three Ristic studies in the last live um, stream that I did. And I wasn't quite sure if those were stuff that I pulled out of Card Halla or if that was my own cards. I went back and looked, and actually, I still have all my uncommons and commons that were my own. So I'm pretty sure, chances are, those were stuff that I pulled out of Card Halla. I do think they were probably pulled out almost 10 years ago. Um, but, every once in a while, it's a common card. A lot of times, people donate thousands of common cards and they'll have gone up in price. Anyway, today we have 7th edition. Probably actually going to do a couple live streams today. So we're going to do 7th edition, then I'm probably going to grab dinner and then come back and do another live stream. Um, so 7th edition is kind of interesting. We're finally having some foil cards that are showing up in this set. So you can see on Mana Box when I pull up the price by rarity, it's going to show all of these cards with the F, meaning that they're foil. Which is kind of crazy because, Birds of Paradise, $2,000 if it was a foil. Right? City of Brass, $1,000. Final Fortune, I mean, a lot of cards in these sets that are worth quite a bit of money if they're foil. So let's get down to okay, where is our stuff that's not foil? So obviously all of these are rare, like a rare foil. I mean, you're talking, it's not like today where you buy a collector's pack and 7 out of 9 cards are foil, right? It actually had some rarity at one point. So there we go. We have a Final Fortune, $30. Right, it's looking like they did black border for all the foil cards. So it's going to be white border stuff. Static Orb 19, Coat of Arms, right? City of Brass $17, which is kind of funny because it's $1,000 if it was foil, right? That card's been reprinted a whole bunch. And I don't think there's a lot of foil City of Brasses out there. So Ensnaring Bridge, Meek Stone, right? Nature's Revolt. There's the Birds of Paradise, Lords of Atlantis. You have these cards. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, or add 1 of 2 different colors and it deals 1 damage to you. This is kind of like a dual land, but significantly cheaper. Um, so still a lot of cards in here. Goblin King again, Reprocess, Sulphur Springs, Pariah. A lot of cards over $1. They're rares. I don't know how many rares necessarily we're going to have in this, since this is the age when rares have the gold color. And so a lot of times, especially with Card Halla, you'll see a lot of rares get pulled out. Uncommons, once again, we're going to have a whole bunch of foil cards up here. So even an uncommon foil card, you're still talking a decent amount of money for old foil cards. Let's see if we even have any. I mean, I suspect we're going to have some uncommons. There were something. Maybe not, though. There you go. Goblin War Drums, $3.62. Here are a couple more. Caltrops, Telepathy, Spellbook. Here are a couple. Compost, Crypt Rats, Mana Breach, Necrologia, Arcane Laboratory. Yep. So those are uncommons. Heading down to our commons. There we go. So once again, foils. $164 for a foil counter spell. Like, kind of crazy, but that's just what you see with these old sets with foil cards. And your foil lands. I mean, look at that, 23 bucks. I mean, it's not quite the same as like a beta, but I mean, that's more than unlimited. Like, like as far as lands, you're talking very few lands that are worth that much. Um, so kind of interesting to see. I mean, they're foil. They're old foil land cards. Um, I know we should have some stuff that's over $1 here. Counterspell being one of them, obviously. Um, Obviously not very high. Counterspell's been reprinted a whole bunch, but $2.81 for Counterspell. Seeker of Skybreak, $1.07. Looks like our lands aren't worth anything. So maybe that's where I'll start, is with lands. Since I know it's kind of disappointing to start with those, but let's start. I'm forgetting I need to change these to 7th edition. Okay. The other ones did come up as 7th. I don't think I have any foil lands in here. It would be awesome if I did. I remember one year we got a whole bunch of foil lands were donated to Cardhalla. I think they were all like new foil lands. Um, so I don't think they were worth anything, but like I know they've done some like promo sets before where they'll just, you know, do like one card that's like a promo card and then like 10 foils lands. And so whatever the artwork is for those foil lands ends up going way down in price. So, but there's all our lands. I mean, it's still kind of $15 in lands. Go with our like artifacts. Let's try to show us like 9th edition. White next. So we know there's some uncommons that are worth something in this set. I've definitely seen some of those cards that ended up. I mean, like I know I have a couple counter spells in here. Um, but that's just because, like, honestly, things like counterspell is like kind of easy to remember. It was printed a whole bunch as like common card. It's almost always worth something. Um, and so a lot of years, if I like was going through cards and I saw a counterspell, right, that was something that I would try to pull out and save. Um, so, I mean, I guess at one point it probably wasn't worth as much as it is now, but I mean, it's just one of those cards where it's kind of obvious that being able to counter somebody else's cards is good. Um, so the reason I'm pretty sure I have two of those in the blue. The reason I have two of them, I'm sure, is because I actually picked them up. Uh, if I had just been like picking up random cards, right, then I potentially wouldn't have two of them. Maybe I'd have one of them. So, uh, also, I focused a lot on white cards, like white border cards. So, um, I maybe have more seventh edition cards uh, in proportion to other sets because I was trying to make sure, like especially early on, I didn't really know what the difference between unlimited, revised, fourth and fifth edition was. Um, and so, if I saw, a white border, I was probably picking it up. Uh, like if I, like a lot of years, I, you know, look around and, you can look around and see kind of what's on the ground when you go to like clean up and see like it's really easy to see white border cards and then sit down and, oh well, I'm going to pick up cards from this area. um because the more recent cards, they kind of stopped doing all of the white borders, at least as far as I know, maybe with like ninth edition or something. So getting a little bit distracted, but I'm pretty sure we have not had anything that was over $1 yet. One thing I'm tempted to sit down and like try to rewatch everything, but I don't have time. Just like at least until I finish going through everything, I don't really want to spend a lot of time doing that type of thing. Um, but like at some point, I will. It'll be interesting to see if I missed anything that was over $1. Yeah, it's so interesting to see like streams of life. Like target player gains X life. Um, it's such a kind of bad card in a way because there's drain life. Like drain life. I mean, I know it's a black card versus a green card, but it's just superior because you deal damage and gain life. Um, it's just interesting to see that type of thing in there. I don't know. It probably made sense with like drafts. I know around this time, I think draft tournaments were fairly popular. So, so like some of these cards I think are just in here because like, hey, we need these so that, you know, like when you're doing drafts, like there'll be like a variety of different cards and kind of odd situations that might come up um, where that's actually like a pretty decent card in a draft style tournament. But I just can't imagine it making it into a green deck. Um, Although I guess really like if you were playing, boy, I'm just not really sure what all the cards are out there. I know there's a couple. There's at least Drain Life, and I think there's one other card that deals damage and gives you life back. Um, so if you were making your own deck, I guess if Necropotence was legal, like potentially throwing something like in there if you were already going to play like a green black deck instead of just mono black with Necropotence. I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to come up with some way that that would actually be a useful card. Okay, so we have our two counter spells, $2.81 each. So times two, yeah, over $5 in cards from seventh edition. Um, really just not seeing a whole lot else in here yet. Uh, Although we did see that there was that like there was a goblin wardrooms or something. Maybe I have a copy of that in here. We're going through goblins first. No, doesn't look like it. I feel like I had some other rares that were seventh edition, but maybe I didn't. Or maybe I already scanned them and they weren't worth anything. Wouldn't shock me if I already scanned them and they. You know, it's funny. At one point, I had asked. I guess part of the reason I have multiple counter spells is because I focused on picking them up. But at one point, I had asked somebody, what I should look out for in Cardhalla, and they said counter spells. And I kind of feel like maybe they were, I don't know. It kind of makes me wish I could go back and kind of look through what was in there in prior years, because I really kind of wonder how many. I mean, I think any old foil cards though, I would have seen them pulled out. Like if I saw foil cards that weren't lands, at least. Like I don't think I was very good at going through lands. Like I certainly didn't think any land cards would be over $1 on TCG Player. Like non-foil, just basic lands. Um, Let me just make sure. No, those are something else. Nah, I don't think I had any. You know what? There's an easy, instead of actually trying to look through these cards, there's an easy solution. I need to go in here anyway. Add to collection. We're going to create a new collection. We're going to call it 7th edition. Create. I did delete the rares and mythics. Go ahead and look in here. And we're just going to sort by rarity. Nope. They're all commons and uncommons. Don't know why. Maybe I'm thinking of like 8th or ninth edition. Or 6th. I think I did have some 6th edition rares. Is that right? I'm probably thinking of 6th edition. So there's our 6th edition. Sort by rarity. Yeah, I had 3 rare cards in 6th edition. So that's probably what I'm thinking of. Is the fact that there were Roman numerals or numbers or something. And it looked like rare cards. Anyway, so that's our 7th edition. 2 counter spells. Not a whole lot of amazing cards, but hey, it's another set of cards gone through. Another 144 cards out of the probably 20 or 30,000 that I have. We're at 7,000 cards. I think the channel's been up for. Oh, how long have we been up for? My first video was August 30th, so not even a month. I've gone through 7,000 cards on this channel. And we'll keep on going through cards, and well before the end of the year at this rate, I should be through at least all the Magic the Gathering cards that I have. So we'll see about the rest. But I think we are going to go ahead and call that an end to this stream.